If you're thinking about moving to Waterbury, Connecticut, you need to hear this before you make a decision. The city is misunderstood, underestimated, and quietly changing. I've lived in Connecticut my entire life, and I help people move here every single day. And today I'm breaking down the real pros and cons and the things you will never hear in your average YouTube video. Today we're going deep on the good, the not so good, in the oh, really about living in Waterbury, Connecticut. If you're thinking about moving here, relocating from out of state, downsizing, investing, or you're just nosy and you like hearing how cities actually work, then this video is for you. This is not hype. This isn't doom and gloom. This is data, lived experiences, and the kind of nuance that you only get from somebody that's been here their entire life. Waterbury is often called the brass city because of its industrial roots, but today is really about three things: affordability, location, and opportunity, especially compared to the rest of Connecticut. Right now, the median home price in Waterbury typically falls in the high 200s to low 300s, roughly 290 to 315, depending on the neighborhood and the month. That's dramatically lower than much of Connecticut, and prices still have been rising year over year as more buyers realize this city is not frozen in time. Today, I'm breaking down 6 pros and 6 cons so you can decide if Waterbury fits your lifestyle, your budget, and your long term plans. And yes, there are a couple things that most buyers never expect. So let's get into it. Pro number one, affordability compared to the rest of Connecticut. And this is just the headline, but it's a big one. The overall cost of living in Waterbury runs about 5% lower than the national average and roughly 20% cheaper than the rest of Connecticut. In a state where affordability is usually in the punchline of jokes, that matters. What this means in real life is buyers who feel completely priced out of Fairfield County, New Haven County, shoreline towns, or even parts of Hartford County suddenly realize they can buy a house here. They'll get a yard, a driveway, a garage, not just technically a bedroom situation. I've seen families move from tiny apartments in New York City, southern parts of New Jersey, into a single family home in Waterbury and still have breathing room in their budget. This doesn't happen in a lot of places anymore. Pro tip number two, central location. Waterbury's location is sneaky good. You're positioned between New Haven and Hartford with access to 84, Route 8, Metro North. It's all so close. You're not stuck in a bubble. Commuting to multiple employment hubs is realistic. Now, here's something most buyers don't expect. Waterbury traffic is very predictable once you understand it. And that's the key phrase. You have to understand it. There are specific choke points that look terrifying on Google Maps and on Waze, but you can bypass them using side routes that us locals have used for decades. This is one of those subtle advantages people only learn after they move or when they talk to people who already know the city. And these small things matter. Knowing which neighborhood shaves 15 minutes off your commute, which route avoids the school traffic, all this can completely transform your daily experience. That kind of practical, lived in knowledge is exactly the thing my team brings to help make relocation a little bit smarter. You're not just buying a house and then trying to figure it out later. We put a plan together. Pro tip number three, history, culture, and real character. Waterbury has character and not the Instagram filter version of character. You've got real architecture, historic neighborhoods, public art, community festivals, and venues like the Palace Theater that anchor downtown life. This is the city that grew fast, worked hard, and carried its identity forward. For buyers who want more than a cookie cutter development, Waterbury feels authentic. You don't just live here, you feel where you live. Pro number four, diversity and the community energy. Waterbury is one of the most diverse cities in Connecticut. Different cultures, different backgrounds and languages, traditions, they all intersect here. It's a melting pot. And that diversity shows up everywhere in the restaurants, the local businesses, the festivals, and of course, the neighborhoods. For a lot of buyers, especially those coming from large metro areas, this feels familiar and welcoming instead of isolating. It is city energy without big city scale, which is a rare thing. Pro number five, the jobs and the economic stability. Waterbury isn't a one industry town anymore. It used to be only brass. Now we have healthcare, education, construction, manufacturing, service industries, and regional employers. They all contribute to stable employment base here in Waterbury. It's not Silicon Valley, and that's actually a plus for many people. You're not betting your future on one tech cycle or one employer. That stability matters if you're planning to stay in this area long term. Pro number six, unexpected insight. Buyers miss the university effect. Here's something most buyers don't think about. Waterbury isn't just the home of one college presence. It has multiple higher education anchors. There's the Yukon downtown campus, Post University, Nogduck Valley Community College, and there's regional programs that bring students, faculty, cultural events, and economic activity all into the Brass City. So why does that matter? It supports rental demand. It stabilizes certain neighborhoods and it brings consistent energy into the local economy. Even if you're not buying an investment property, this affects housing demands and long-term value more than anybody realizes. Now we have to talk about cons because real talk matters. And after all, this is Waterbury, so there are going to be some cons. Con number one, crime reality. Let's be honest, Waterbury overall crime rate is higher than the national average. Both property and violent crime stats are elevated in certain areas. Here's a nuance most people miss about Waterbury. Safety and crime actually varies block to block more so than town to town. Two streets can feel completely different. That isn't about fear, it's about choosing correctly. And that's where local knowledge beats online rankings every time. My suggestion is always spend a little bit of time in the area you're buying in. Go back in the morning, go back in the afternoon, and go back when it gets dark out and see what the vibe is in that area and do your research. Con number two, driving culture is aggressive. Connecticut drivers already have a reputation, and Waterbury leans into it. There have been studies ranking areas poorly for aggressive driving, DUI related incidents, and it's not just traffic, it's how people drive. But you adjust, you become alert, and after a while, you develop what I call the Connecticut defensive driving instincts. It's a real thing. Don't trust the blinker, trust your instincts. Con number three, property taxes can surprise people. Yes, the homes are cheaper, but Waterbury property taxes catch buyers off guard. And if you look at the purchase price and not the taxes, you're in for a rude awakening. City services like sewer, water, and the infrastructure are all built into the system, but that shows up in your tax bill. This isn't a deal breaker, but it's a math problem. Smart buyers run the full numbers before committing, and you need to know these things before you sign on the dotted line. Con number four, full New England weather. You get all four seasons here. Fall is glorious. Spring is refreshing. Summer is solid. Winter's going to command your respect. It has snowfall, cold snaps, and real winter prep are all part of the deal. Waterbury has a lot of streets, and sometimes it takes a while for public works to get them all plowed out. You also want to make sure you have off-street parking because getting snow plowed in is miserable. Con number five, homelessness and urban challenges. Like many Connecticut cities, Waterbury faces real housing and homelessness challenges. This matters to buyers evaluating long-term city planning, infrastructure investment, and community support systems. It's part of the reality. not something to ignore or sensationalize. Con number 6, mixed online reputation. If you've Googled Waterbury, I'm sure you've seen it already. Some people trash it, others defend it fiercely. The truth lives somewhere in the middle. Waterbury is not perfect, but it's far from what outdated online chatter suggests. Understanding which areas are improving and which still need work is the difference between loving your move and second guessing it. If you're watching this and thinking Waterbury might or might not be the perfect fit for you, we are just scratching the surface with this video. There are neighborhood nuances, school considerations, commute patterns, tax differences, and lifestyle factors that I can't fit into a single video. And that's why people relocating here reach out to the Dave Jones Realty team. We help buyers think through the full picture. Whether you're moving next month or planning the trip 5 years out, we don't want any surprises. You have to reach out to my team to help with that. Waterbury isn't for everyone, but for the right buyer, it can be one of the smartest moves inside of Connecticut. If you want more videos like this, breaking down towns with honesty, make sure you check out my next one where we go deeper into what most people wish they knew before relocating. You can check out that video above here.